Hello everybody, Even Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Endwalker. In the last episode, we had a sparring match with Venant, and then had a bit of an echo vision of Hermes and Meteion, and it seems that Hermes, at least this version of Hermes, does not currently desire any sort of cataclysmic global destruction. So, confirming this with Hythlodaeus and Emet-Selch, because they also decided to investigate, because even though Emmet doesn't acknowledge the truth of our story, he knows it's true. And so we've decided to go ahead and tell Hermes everything and see what his thoughts are. So that's what we did. And he confirmed that the final days, as described, could be the result of a dynamis reaction. But in order for the final days to do what it does, the negative emotions involved need to have a source to which the victims must be attuned. That, considering that the celestial currents are where the effect is kind of bleeding through, it would seem that this source is outside of Aetheris. And right about that time, Meteion linked up to her sisters to provide a report, and it seems something has gone terribly wrong. Because she freaked out and has gone into hiding. And so we need to track her down and see if we can figure out what's going on. That's kind of where we are at right now. She has kind of hid herself, adjusted her ether to blend in with her surroundings, to the point where even Hythlodaeus and Emet-Selch can't see her. So, we have to use our ability to interact with Dynamis because of our thin ether, and see if we can sense where she is. So that is kind of where we're at. Alright, our search area is here. So it could be down in the pit, but it might not. Here's a location. Suspicious disturbance. You calm your mind, your sense is questing for any hint of Meteion's presence. You fail to hear her voice. She must be elsewhere. Okay? Not here. Let's try the other side. There's another glowing area that might be our option. We fail to hear her voice. She must be elsewhere, so she's not here. Alright, so she must be down in the pit. Alright. There's a suspicious disturbance here. It seeps into my mind, our voices reporting. No, Hermes mustn't hear them. I have to run, to hide. Meteion's anguished voice grows distant as the source seems to flee down the slope. Alright, down the slope it is. Here? Trying to catch even the faintest whisper, but fail to hear Meteon's voice. Okay. Not here. Looking for any indication. Yep, there we are. Greetings and salutations. Oh, there she is. Commencing report. Oh no, I can't tell them that. We must run far away. So something about this report. She doesn't want people to see or hear. Please don't follow me. Meteon's anguished voice fades as you hear her climbing to the top of the ridge. Alright, climbing to the top of the ridge. I have to go all the way around this. It's cliff face. Alright, what's here? Alright, nope, it's not here. There's Emmett. Anything here? Nope. How did it come to this? Is this the reason we traveled to the stars? Why we sought out other life forms? This is it? Is this the answer? No, it cannot be. It cannot be. Meteon's anguished voice drifts away to the south. Alright, nothing here. Something here. Compiling a report for dissemination to Hermes and all peoples of Eorzea. Processing expedition data, preparing profiles on intelligent civilizations, formulating answers to the question, finalizing report. No, Ayame, you mustn't listen. Gone again. It's wrong. It's all wrong. Meteon's anguished voice flees towards the lake. Oh, there's the rest of the team. Any sign of Meteon? Yep. Panicked and confused, which will make it all the more difficult to predict her movements. Hermes, what do you make of the situation? The Matea are linked to a single mind, a shared consciousness which connects them across any distance. I suspect something has happened which disturbed its usual harmony. How might we access this shared consciousness of theirs? Much as you would approach any sentient being, directly. In the Matea's case, that means speaking to any incarnation within physical reach. Unless we can track down the Meteon we just lost, we have no means to communicate with them. No way of knowing what befell her sisters, no way to provide directions or guidance. We had best set our musings aside and concentrate on how we might find her. Hermes, do you have an idea? Thaddeus? It's a shame there is no registered concept we could use to create another Meteon, assuming, of course, we could link her to the shared mind. But no, if it were a viable solution, Hermes would have surely suggested it. Yeah, you could just make another one. Probably doesn't work that way. Myself, a frantic search will avail us little. We must be clever about this. And Bana. In the final days, Ether is twisted by the invasion of Dynamis from beyond the star, its progress intensified by feelings of fear and despair and anguish. Nay, I like not the picture which emerges with these latest pieces. Alright. Oh, my dear Meteon, what did you witness out there that frightened you so? What do you see to keep it from us? How terrible could it possibly be? Alright, any ideas? Correct me if I'm wrong, but Meteon renders herself invisible by matching her etheric density to that of her surroundings, does she not? If so, could we not disrupt her concealment with the surfeit of ether? Much how Evanselk solidified your presence when first we met you. Won't be absurd. I can hardly channel ether to a recipient whose whereabouts are hidden from me. Which is why we must all work together. Ayame will continue the search in the same manner as before, but this time with you in tow. Once she ascertains Meteon's likely location, you proceed to reveal our wayward familiar with a swift ethereal downpour. Very clever, and thankfully she has made herself easier to capture by fleeing towards Leith. Assuming she is made visible, it should prove no great feat to herd her into a corner. And we have our plan. Ayame and Mixelk will be our tracker and trapper, respectively, while we others predict and obstruct Meteon's avenues of escape. And Mixelk and I will keep an eye on each other's ether to help coordinate our efforts. Let's be about it. Sounds like a plan. Well, it seems we are partners for the time being. Let us return to where we last saw Meteon and pick up the trail from there. I'll keep myself in a state of preparedness, ready to rain down ether at a moment's notice, meaning it falls to you to keep the way clear. That means, if we run into anything we have to fight, I've got to deal with it. Simple enough. Why can't I fly? Are my functions being restricted? Hide, yes. I'll just hit the hide then, where no one can find me. Went into the lake, as if this wasn't tiresome enough. Well, at least that open expansion should make her easier to find. We won't lose her this time. Anything you say? Discuss the water's edge. You should be able to reach the bottom of this drop by climbing down the rocks at the water's edge. Do not even think of dragging me over the falls. Final days or no, if I end up drenched from head to toe, I swear I will feed you to a remora. Tempting. But I'll use the rocks. Fine. See, there's a remora. We're going to ignore that for the time being. All right. Anything here? Not here. I'm not here. Please. Looks like we've located her. By that rock, is she? Very well. Got her. Why can't I hide? There's no need to run, Meteon. Yeah, man, what are you saying? Everything is so faint. I'm sorry, I'm not strong enough. Stay away, I'm begging you. Don't make me say it. It will break him. His poor, fragile heart. Now we have a chance. Once the others are in position, the two of us can herd her into their midst. Alright, well, let's go. Oh yeah, I can't mount while Emmett Selk is following me. But I can sprint. You know, some people over there doing a fate. Eh. No, I'm a little busy. Okay, I have disengaged. What's over here? Discuss the noose. Is this noose not in use? It seems to have been left to the mercy of the elements. Either way, it bears no trace of Meteon's essence. We move on. Alright then. There, I see her. All right, let's pull. Don't want to fall down there. And there she goes.
Give chase. We shall herd her into the shelter.
We're coming up behind. She really only has one way to go. And there's Hythlodaeus. And Hermes. And Vana.
Please, Mission. We must speak.
I'm sorry, Hermes. I'm so sorry. If someone can hear these words, then please... please protect them. Protect them all.
Individual self-suspended. Connection with shared consciousness stable. Our survey is complete. We shall now report our findings. All units safely arrived at their respective destinations. Seeking answers to Hermes' question, we attempted to make contact with the intelligent denizens of each star. Results are as follows, in order of numerical code. Enna. Traces of civilization found. Structures believed to have served as domiciles. No extant life forms detected. Dio. Ruined remnants of buildings scattered across star, surface of which is encased in ice. Presence of life could not be verified. Tria. Evidence of large population centers, akin to cities recovered. No extant life forms found, only their lingering essence. Tessera. Edifices surmised to be abandoned residences found. No extant life forms detected. Deadly plague or extreme environmental degradation likely to have led to mass extinction.
They are all... dead.
Yep.
Octo. Star found in state of violent conflict. Contact successfully made with inhabitants, but deployment of weapons of mass destruction resulted in total annihilation of local population shortly thereafter. Inea. Star is a barren desert. No identifiable flora found. Bones of living beings resembling men discovered beneath sands, but determination regarding their intelligence inconclusive.
Remind me, Hermes, what exactly was the question you entrusted to Meteion?
I tasked her with asking what others live for. What gives their lives meaning.
Did you consider what may happen if the premise of the question is flawed? To be able to answer it, one must be living and desire to continue doing so. But if Meteion finds no living beings in the course of her journey, or none who desire to live, what then? What answers would she derive from their silence?
Meteon, enough! Suspend your mission and return hither at once.
Decapente. Local civilization once flourished under auspices of higher power. Said power later laid waste to civilization in fit of rage. Upon revealing this to me, entity elected to self-terminate in lieu of providing answer to question. No other intelligent life forms found.
Turning a deaf ear, are we? We are taking Meteon back to Amarot. As I understand, we will need her if we are to bring back all of her sisters.
Yes. Meteon. It isn't right, is it? It isn't right to turn away from the answer. Even if the answer is pain. Even if we aberrations must scream ourselves hoarse to be heard. Aye. Whatever answers we find, I will not dismiss them out of hand. These words I said to you, and I will hold myself to them.
And he's transformed.
What is the meaning of this?
You cannot take Meteon, not until she has finished her report. All else must wait.
You fool!
Alright, now we're going to chase Hermes down. So apparently, Meteon ran into the Fermi paradox. And so the only answer that she has is, well, nothing. And since Hermes is tied up so much of his hopes into this project, he's kind of gone off the deep end a little bit. Alright, Arthodias. Just dots. Ivana? If all Hermes means to do is listen to Meteon's report, then it is his right to do so. Once he receives the answers to his question, what then? The fate of the world may very well hinge on the choice he makes at that moment, and we must be there when he makes it. Alright, Emmett. Why, Hermes? Why can you not leave well enough alone? Will his answers assuage the pain you feel when a creation is returned to ether? They never cast your accursed question to the distant stars. You may have one day learned to be at peace upon this one. Alright, Arthodias. Hermes has headed to Catesis. Considering the expansive dimensions of the place, even we may have a difficult time locating his ether. All I can say is that he entered from the rooftop and likely arrived at the uppermost point in the facility. So, do we pursue him? Of course we pursue him. No matter what Hermes might be thinking, Meteion is a potential threat that needs to be brought under our control. The Convocation's duty to safeguard this star takes precedence over any personal stake in the matter. Bana, Ayame? It's clear we stand on a precipice, but we have yet to determine beyond a shadow of a doubt that Meteion's is the hand which tips us over the edge. Nevertheless, if we are to learn the truth of the final days, we must give chase, and even if neither Hermes nor Meteion is ultimately responsible, we cannot leave them to suffer this torment alone. Agreed on all counts. To Catesis Hyperborea we go. And it took me back. Okay. All right. Here we are. Emmett. I mislike the look of this. Ithlodeus. Judging from the crowd, something is afoot. And Catesis Scholar. I saw not out of the ordinary. Does anyone know what caused it? Vana? What have we here? Excuse me, has something happened inside Catesis? Mistress Vana, I'm so glad you're here. No one knows what prompted it, but the alarm was sounded and Catesis put into a state of alert. Procedure dictated that we evacuate immediately, and we have yet to investigate further. This is Hermes doing, obviously. And what does this state of alert entail exactly? A field of dampening magic is draped over the entire facility, usually in response to escaped entities and the like. Catesis scholars and observers are unaffected, but everything and everyone else is weakened to a fraction of their usual capabilities. Then consider us forewarned. We do, however, have urgent business with Chief Hermes and must enter the premises regardless. That said, if Hermes is willing to enact such measures, I wonder what other obstacles he has seen fit to drop in our path. That enfeebling spell in place, we're not like to be at our fighting best. I was hardly an effective combatant to begin with. I have little to offer beyond my ethereal vision. Then you will put that talent of yours to good use. You were fairly skilled at spotting weaknesses, if I recall. Fairly skilled? Now you've gone and raised everyone's expectations. You all need only make the most of your strengths, and I will fill in the gaps as required. I was once a Zem, after all. It was my job to rise to the occasion, and be that as defender, aggressor, or healer. I feel better about my lack of prowess already. And you, Emmentelk, can impress us with your arcane majesty. You lob potent spells as easily as breathing, but can also channel that power in a protected manner, if you so choose, yes? Well, yes, should the situation call for it. Excellent. I shall cover us on all fronts. Your tale led us here, Ayame, so 'tis only right that you lead us now, no matter what lies ahead. We will win through to Hermes and Meteion. And then we will face the future together. Alright. We have a 4-man team. And a dungeon to run. Alright, well, we should be able to small talk. Let's do that real fast. Bleak as the contents of Meteon's report might be, many could hear it and remain content with their lives. But not Hermes. For him, the veneer of perfection has long been cracked, and it was to the distant heavens he looked for the means to repair it. I understand his anguish after a fashion. My own refusal to return is in opposition to the world's established order. And for me, the imperfections only enhance the fragile beauty of our star. I'll fight to see it delivered from destruction, warts and all. Yeah, as I said, he's thrown so much of his kind of hopes and identity into this whole thing. Who knows? Alright. Small talk. I said that Hermes was likely perched somewhere at the highest point of the facility. Reaching him will be no mean feat. To put simply, Catesis Hyperborea contains a multitude of vast spaces linked together at the seams, meaning the interior is far more massive than even this grand structure might otherwise suggest. But even a colossal facility filled top to bottom with savage creations will not stop you. Not with Vanon, Emmett Selkirk aside, and I will be there too, of course, cheering you on. Alright, Emmett. The moment we met you, our visit has devolved into a never-ending series of complications and irritations. In spite of this, I've gained one useful thing, an awareness of Dynamis. To think that a power with the potential to corrupt ether had largely escaped our notice. Whether or not I believe your tale, the facts underpinning your narrative will be the source of much debate. So understand that I act not for the sake of you or your fantastical quest. My duty demands that I apprehend Meteon, and if now that means Hermes as well, then so be it. Yeah, we kind of do that, don't we? Whenever we shows up, things get crazy. Alright. So we gotta run this dungeon, and I'm gonna do it with the trusts. Because, of course, I'm gonna do it with the trust. But not hit the S&M itself. And, yeah, what I'm probably gonna go ahead and do is end this episode here. It's a bit short for this series, but the way the time's going to kind of work out, because you figure we have to run the dungeon, and then there's going to be a big cutscene almost certainly coming out of the dungeon, and so yeah, just I think it makes the most sense to cut here and then come back for next episode and run through the dungeon and whatever else happens afterwards. Alright, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.